Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you're having a good day so far. It's Friday, so if you're here, you already know it's another episode of Millennial with Billy and Mel. What is going on, guys? So we're here, and we're super excited about today's show. We're going to be talking about because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's gotten colder outside. It's getting darker earlier, so it means fall's here, right? And so obviously I think like millennials, this is like the favorite time of the year for most millennials for some reason. I don't,
Female.
I don't, especially female. I don't really understand, but we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about the top things that us as millennials like to do. We'll discuss whether or not we actually like those things, or if they're dumb. Right, basically
Or
that's what
they're
we're gonna
done.
get to. But before we get into all of that, guys, if you're jumping on the show for the first time, make sure you comment who you are, where you're coming in from. We'd love to give you a shout out. And if you are, going to catch us on the replay somewhere, just let us know. Right, we want to let us know where you're listening from. So, but with all that said, Mel, what is going on? How has your week been? It was a short week for us. We just had a show on Sunday.
I
So,
do. I feel like we were just on here, which is fantastic because, I love to talk and, yell about things. But yeah, it's been chilly. I was trying to show you I have like a little portable heater here in my office because, it's an old house and a lot of the heat goes right up, but I haven't turned the heat on yet. So I'm just chilly in the morning. It's 45 degrees when we wake up. So I'm excited to talk about fall because this week really feels like fall. Um, and uh, and yeah, I posted in the intro that you clearly don't like anything pumpkin, So we will
we've
try to
established
avoid we'll
that.
try to avoid everything pumpkin. But yeah, I noticed it. I've been back on my routine of 5:30 at the gym in the morning, and it's pitch black out and
Yep.
it's cold. So it's still cold when I come out of the gym, like before 7. So yeah, it's we're getting into that fall mode just by the weather. So
Yeah, and it's funny now. Because I get up at 5:30 and go to the gym. That's how I've always worked out, pretty much. And this time of year, when it's cold outside, I always felt like I didn't need pre-workout to wake up. I was automatically awake because it was so cold outside. So, but yeah, I mean, fall is. I have a love-hate relationship with fall. There's obviously some things I love, and there's some things that I dislike, and we've talked about that. Um,
yes.
but there are some things that we'll discuss to see if we're on the same wavelength. But you know, I do love fall. I do love fall in the sense that it's just there's some things that I like about fall, like I said, and some things that I dislike
Yeah,
about fall.
but
But
change, it's change of season, it's change of leaves, and there's a lot of changes happening with us personally and professionally and millennially. Whatever that
yes,
word.
yes, it is the season of change. So that's a good way to put it. If you want to put a silver lining on it, I guess. But why do you think? Before we get into what we like, or that I have looked up a couple lists of things that are
Mhm,
popular amongst millennials. But
mhm.
why, in your mind, is fall like millennial like time of year?
I think 2 things, and this wasn't even anything that I thought about to share, so I'm glad you asked these questions because it's not anything I'm prepared for, but I think it's because of, things as a child, like, nostalgia of maybe just, like, the Halloween and, things to me, I love Halloween, so, I like that, and maybe is just the idea that it's a new start of something. It's completely different. So we need like a redirection after summer. It's kind of like, oh, this is new. So there's just a kind of complete transition into something different. But also, I think it's because there's trends that come out and there's like different things that we see seasonally that are promoted. Yeah, the pumpkin spice latte, I feel it's a huge millennial thing, right? So it's things that come out maybe the fashion. The girls really like fashion, and um, there's just little, I don't know, I don't want to use the word novelty, like catchy things, but one of the things that I feel is there's something big that always comes out around this time. And it was the hocus pocus shirt phenomena obsession of all the hocus pocus stuff. And I feel like it was last year too, but this year it's like really wild. And I
Well,
don't know why.
you know why? Hold
The
on,
new movie,
breaking news for
they're
Mel. They're coming out with Hocus. They
the
came
new
out with
movie.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, okay. Hocus Pocus 2. That's what I said. Well, yeah, that's what I thought it was, the movie. But so I think that it's like there's this idea that every fall there's something that gets us like excited again. Like the summer's over. It's like, oh man, it's gonna get cold and we're like the end of the year is here. It kind of is like a Debbie Downer of, oh my God, it's like literally October 1st tomorrow. But there's like always something that picks it up and makes it exciting. Maybe that's just the marketing of the retail world. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think for as for millennials, a lot of what you said is is right in line with that. And I think too it has to, like you said, a lot has to do with marketing. And I feel like, when we were kids, marketing was a big thing, but it wasn't as big as like once social
Mhm.
media came around. I feel like marketing really took off,
Yeah,
right?
and we've done podcasts about marketing straight to millennials.
Yes.
So
And let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff that is marketed to us. I mean, they want to talk about all the businesses and industries we have killed because we're millennials, but there's a lot of industries that we have definitely
kept
propped
in
up
business.
cuz cuz
Yeah.
I mean, like and there's some significant brands that
Mhm.
really take off in the fall. I mean, like for instance,
Right.
Starbucks.
Right.
Like you said, pumpkin spice lattes, right? That is a millennial thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
just I think going back to the fashion too, I mean, and we're kind of already getting into some of these things, but I think that it's a way there's like a rebirth. I don't know, it's not a rebirth, but like you can go into your wardrobe and you have a completely new wardrobe now. Like there's new things you go, boots, sweater weather. Like we talked about that. And a lot of the girls get excited about sweaters and scarves and boots, and the boutiques thrive on it because they, especially the small businesses and the local boutiques, they buy all that stuff. So
I
yeah, I think it's just the idea of the change of season. We in Pennsylvania are great are I think we take advantage. What is it called? We take for granted that we have all these seasons in the fall foliage because people down south, and shout out all the prayers to everyone in
Yes.
Florida.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there this week. My flight got canceled and my whole trip. I was going to visit, but we're thinking about everybody in Florida and the devastation. But one thing that people in the South too, they don't experience the seasons like we do and the fall foliage. So I think that some people just really love that change of scenery.
No, I totally agree. Like I lived in Alabama for 10 plus years, right? And that was always the knock was like, oh, like it's just straight summer and it's just straight winter. There's no like
Mhm.
that in between month or time of year that really signifies that change, right? It's like everything's alive and everything's dead, right? Like there's no like
Yeah.
in between type of but
Yeah.
but that was one of the first things I noticed moving back to Pennsylvania, like especially living in like Lancaster in the middle of the state, like and this time of year when all the leaves are changing, right? And you just see it's just so many different colors. So it is definitely
Mhm.
a beautiful time of year. I get, and it's a great time for pictures and
Yeah.
all that stuff, right? And so, but I think we should get into it, right?
Yep.
I have a couple here. I'm sure you do
I
have a
have
couple.
5. I figured we could share. They
Yeah.
might be the same, some of them.
But you know, this is for me is not necessarily my list is not necessarily some stuff that I love. It's just something that I believe is truly millennial in
Right.
fall. And so, so some of the things that we come up with might be the same, but we might have differences of opinions on
Right.
these things. So,
Absolutely, yes.
first of all, I'm going to get the elephant out of the room, and we're going to talk about anything pumpkin, right? Pumpkin
Okay.
spice lattes. pumpkin pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that. Um, I it is quintessential a millennial, right? I
Yeah.
wish I could find the person that actually like came up with it, because they're probably like, millennials are gonna eat this up, right? Like
Oh,
they're gonna kill this
absolutely.
thing. But like I just don't get the craze behind it, because it's really doesn't taste that great. It's just, I guess it's just more so of like, it's cold, the spice kind of warms you up and it makes that feeling. But like, I don't know too many people that just have straight pumpkin pie in their house right now.
No, I mean, I'll eat pumpkin pie, I'll eat pumpkin roll. I I've had pumpkin muffins, pumpkin donuts. I don't crave them. Like if it's there, I'll eat it. I'll take a bite or two, but I'm not a huge pumpkin spice. So we've determined that that I'm not that into it. I frankly don't even know if I've had one. I think we talked about this last year. Still don't think I've had anything from Starbucks that was pumpkin spice. I think it's something that is only around that time of year. Like we talked about Thanksgiving and turkey. I literally only eat turkey on Thanksgiving, if that. I mean, my family, we make chicken. So we're not huge turkey. I think that's what it is. It's like a one time a year, you have it for a month or so or two, and then you don't. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't explain it either. But you're muted. Uh-oh, you did it.
I did it. Look at that. So, but it is unexplainable.
It is
Because no one, because every time I
unexplainable.
ask the question, like, if it pumpkin spice was so good, why don't you have it throughout the year, right?
Right.
It
We
was
did
so
say
good.
that.
It's like, if it's so good,
It's just like
what?
turkey.
Yeah, it's like,
Some people
yeah,
do.
like I can't remember the last time I just had like a turkey sandwich, right? Like it's always been like turkey at Thanksgiving. But moving along, what is your first off your list?
Well, I put this one down because I thought that you would enjoy it. And I didn't know if you caught in the graphic image that I made and posted. It was football season. And it was a Penn State Alabama game.
I saw that. I saw
So
that.
I couldn't just put Penn State, even, I didn't go there. It's just my team, being in Pennsylvania. I thought that football season is really cool. I figured you would have this right on your list. College football, NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday football, Saturday college football. I think it's a really cool thing. People get together, tailgates, parties, go out to see people. And yeah, I think it's cool. It's just different dynamics for everybody. And some people don't follow it, some people do. I like college football more than I do NFL these days. Yeah, Peggy, football all day, every day. And yeah, I just kind of get more into college football, but I think it's cool because, certain relationships, like, guys go out and watch football. It gives sometimes girls time to do their thing, or, clean. Like, you can have your own time or you can do it together. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I love football. There's something that's different in the air, especially college football. There's something different in the air. The air starts to get a little crisp, like on a Friday,
Hmm.
like a Friday night. Like
Hmm.
it also reminds me of just being a kid, because I played football in high school,
Right.
and playing football on Friday nights, and you played in the fall, and like I said, it get that little cool. It wasn't like freezing out, but it was just that little crisp air, right? That
Right.
was, and it always brings me back to those days. But then, like you said, it's the tailgating, it's the food, it's the parties,
Right.
it's the drama of the game. And definitely, definitely football is way up there for me. And it's not, I don't, it's not just a millennial thing, but
Right.
um I think we do it a little bit differently than maybe the generation before us, where it's more of a party,
Right.
it's more like an event.
An experience, because
Yeah,
millennials like
it's
experiences.
not it's not just like, hey, we're gonna show up in a parking lot, drink some beer. It's like, hey, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have a TV. It's a whole experience, like you said. That's a really
Right.
that's a really good way
Well,
to
and it's
describe it.
funny, I completely forgot about, Friday night football and obviously high school football, that I've seen a lot of millennials now with children playing football. Younger, they might not be, they're obviously not high school age, but they are wanting to go to the games to see. It's something to do on a Friday night for a family. So, with young kids, they want to go to the game, they want to run around, the parents can hang. Maybe it's their school, their alumni for that high school. And I've seen more millennials, I feel like, going to Friday night football games too for
Yeah.
stuff to do with their kids. And as far as older than us, I've seen that this could be a whole nother podcast, maybe with somebody that's in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, that have college students that are going to college, that are going, the parents are now going up to the games, where we
Yeah.
saw that happen when we were in college, that there's almost this regeneration of the parents, whether they get to go and relive it, whether they never got to live
That's
that
interesting.
experience. I was
Yeah.
talking about it with a couple people, and I would love to get that, that take, that we don't have kids, and we certainly don't have, the idea of like older kids, that time frame. But there's something interesting that, they're getting to do something similar to where our generation millennials are going back to the Friday night football games
Yeah.
with their little kids.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely like that is such a good point. I didn't really think about it until you brought it up about the older generation kind of getting back in on the fun because the kids are older, right, and they're able to go
Mhm.
experience those things like they didn't have they couldn't before. So that's a
Right.
good point. But so obviously yes, football was one of mine, right? All right, so this is one I guess I'm starting off negative. So,
Get this one out of the way.
because again, it's not any surprise that fall is not my favorite month, and the simple fact is because it leads to winter, and winter's really cold, right? And I'm more of a warm weather, right? Spring and summer are my months. But anyways, moving right along, I, for the life of me, cannot understand. Like, I totally understand putting up Christmas lights before Christmas. Like, if somebody wants to put them up before Thanksgiving, I'm for it. That's amazing. Like, because I love Christmas. But for the life of me, I do not understand it. I've seen in the last 2 years more people put up Halloween decorations than I've
Mhm.
ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like people really going like almost Christmas like on their house for Halloween, and I just don't understand the infatuation with Halloween.
I am so glad you put this, because one of my number 4 is decorating. So, Halloween, let's start there. I usually host the Halloween party. I am obsessed with Halloween. Now, not this year. I'm going to have one. However, when I do, I decorate like wild. Not outside. I think one year I hung bats on the porch, but I usually do inside. But I usually only do it like 2 weeks before Halloween, because I still like to do fall. Again, I think it's things that have to do with trends. I think that it's, you know, something. The reason why I put decorating on here is because it's looking forward to something. It's getting you excited about something. It's giving you something to do and then have this like joy, or this like, think that it's an event, something's happening. So when you decorate for it, it's like, oh, it's a big deal. So I think that for Halloween, it's something like, oh, or, whether you're having a party or not, it's like it gets you excited that, you're in the spirit. But I have no idea why people started weeks ago decorating for Halloween, because I think that's wild. I mean, I wouldn't start until, like I said, 2 weeks before, but everything is starting to happen a lot sooner with the retail side. Stuff was coming out. I saw something about, it turned fall, and Costco has holiday decorations up. and someone was like, "Oh, anyone with a membership card to any place, you can find Jesus in all of the aisles at Costco," is what they said. But like, it's true. I mean, things are coming out sooner and sooner every year on the retail to make money off of the stuff that the people are then decorating sooner. So I started with Halloween. I then went into fall and Thanksgiving, because, then obviously people enjoy decorating for, that's kind of more where the pumpkins and the hay bales and the scarecrows and the, like, kind of more of like a fall, Thanksgiving. But the Friendsgiving themed parties were big. And I think it's a big millennial thing.
Yeah,
Or only
100%. No,
Gen Z
100%.
too.
Like that time of year, Thanksgiving, the Friendsgiving parties and stuff like that. Like I remember, just like it being totally a millennial thing, like
Mhm.
going out like the night before Thanksgiving, right? And going to a
Mhm.
bar and hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. Like I said, when it comes to the decorations, like I like pumpkins, I like that type of stuff. I'm more like specifically talking about like Halloween like geared
Right.
stuff, like scary stuff in your yard and just like all kind, like people go
Yeah.
all out and will
Yeah.
like decorate their yards.
Oh, the blow ups
Yes,
now and
yes.
the coffins with the thing. Yeah, I mean, I think there's people that have always been really into Halloween. Like, I mean, I was always really into it, but like on Family, what's it called? What's the show with the
Adam's family.
no, the Modern Family.
Okay.
They were really into it, and they did like their own haunted house, and it was like they got dressed up, and it was crazy. But I do love it, but I don't know. I can't really explain as much as I do love it. I can't explain as much. I don't have kids, and again, it doesn't. It's not because of that, but I think maybe some people um, who have kids can get into things a little bit more as an excuse because they say, "Oh, we're doing it for the kids," but it's really they just want to do it.
So before we move on to the next one, I had to ask this question because I think it's a female millennial thing that this is just the most popular thing to do. It used to be just, hey, let's pick a really cool pumpkin. Like, hey, it was a cool pumpkin.
Mhm.
But like I feel like in the last couple of years, millennials have been like doing this whole thing because Megan does it, and I'm sure you've done it. The whole stacking of pumpkins, like there's like like 3 or 4 pumpkins, and like so not only do we have to spend time getting a pumpkin, but now we have to pick the 3 best pumpkins that stack on each other properly and look the best.
I
Now,
see. I don't stack them. I don't have like patience for it, but I do get. I did last year. I got like big ones, small ones, yellow. They make black ones now with like orange, or maybe they always did. But I got into a little bit more of the gourds, and so I guess I can get behind it. I don't stack them. I guess it's just the trend. They see like Pinterest. Pinterest is a big millennial thing too because we see things and then we want exactly that, especially in the wedding industry. They're like, yeah, no, that took, 200 hours to do, and you just see the picture of it. So I think it's probably just seeing things and wanting them to, the what they see, but I don't know.
I think you have the next one. I think I came up with
Okay, well,
pre-Halloween
I do want to follow
excitement.
up that. I think I think another thing about the fall, and I don't know that this is millennial, but because I was talking about decorating, that it leads into the next decorating would be for Christmas, and I go really hard. I would start like November 1st, so that I do start decorating for Christmas early, like in November. And I just started that when I was divorced. I was on my own, and it got me into the spirit. So I do think that people really love the idea that right now it's fall because Christmas is coming. I know you don't like the seasons of the weather, but as far as the holidays and the holiday season, I do think that I always get this feeling of like spreading joy and love, and it's the holidays, and it just is like this good feeling. And I think I'm hoping that there'll be less negativity, more nativity and no negativity.
I feel like that should be a Facebook post right
I
there.
will,
More.
let me write that one down.
So
um
I was gonna say this, like the problem I have, right, with the fall and winter is that all the major events that happen with cold weather are in the first half of of this like celebration of fall and kind of into winter. So we speed through fall, right? Because there's all these events, and then
Mhm,
after Christmas, the only thing that you have to look forward to is New Year's, and then that's
mhm.
gone. And now we have 2 to 3 months of just cold and nothing to look forward
My
to.
birthday in
Oh, there
January.
you go. And my birthday's in March, so
Yes.
but like nothing like like a major holiday like Christmas, for
Right.
instance,
Well,
right?
and I think that's good because my last two kind of go hand in hand ish. I don't know, sort of. I forgot to say that I do like when it's fall, I can do my nails really dark and wear like dark lipstick. It's a little bit more appropriate in the fall and the winter. Um, so like wardrobe, but I I think that and like I said, they kind of go hand in hand. But there's a thing right now that is an opportunity with the change of everything. I feel like people look at the rest of the year. So like, not that they make more like they start over with goals, but they're like, oh shit, I didn't get all this stuff done that I wanted to this year. It's already October. I mean, I'm doing it. Like September flew by.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I know I had a lot of like, things going on and changes, but so I think that there's an opportunity right now, and I don't know how to describe it, like whether it's a reset or resolutions or certain things that we're like, we're rushing to get some stuff done that we didn't do this year and or resetting those goals. So I like as a, kind of like a positive thing as far as I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely do. And so, I
And then
think,
I was gonna say my next one, I'll just say because then if kind of segues and because then I'll be done, is the idea of being excited, like hashtag adulting of hibernating because we were out all summer. Like a lot of people enjoy going out, like myself. It's hot, it's nice out, it's warm. I just want to be outside. So I spent more time, I spent more money, I ate out more, I drank out more. So there's something exciting about this time that we can know that it's going to be so cold that people don't even want to leave the house. So like we get more stuff done a little bit inside, maybe like, spending time decluttering or drinking less or making food at home. And I like to make soups, but staying inside, like that idea of being warm and cozy in your socks and cuddling with the fire. And, there's just that I think is something that is more like fall, like the
yeah,
something that you were kind of forced to stay in a little bit if you don't want to be outside. I do like the winter, I do like the cold, um but I think there's something about the idea that we spend more time inside now. So there's things and opportunities to spend doing things like self-care and reading and than being out and having to feel that, you know.
yeah, no, definitely, and that kind of goes into like I kind of have my last one is kind of two of them, and it kind of tags into what you were just saying. Like, the one thing I do like about getting cold outside is that you can actually have a fire outside, like a bomb,
Right. Yep.
and hang out next to it and not be like sweating profusely.
Yeah.
But the other thing that that I love that is completely different from summer and spring, because like you were saying, I believe like summer and spring is like, let's get out of the house, let's
Right.
go, like we'll go to the beach. So it's a lot more like eating at restaurants, like
Yep.
eating like cuisine, like for me at the beach is going to like a bar next to the water and hanging out and having a beer and just watching the water and stuff like that. But what I love, absolutely love about the fall is that, like you said, we get more into cooking at home. And so it's more comfort food that we get to
Right.
eat,
Right.
because you can't really eat some of these foods in the summer because
Right.
it's just too much. Right. And so for me, like it's Christmas dinner, right? It's
Right.
Thanksgiving. It's all the hearty meals that we get to eat, the meat and potatoes, the pot roast,
like the heart, yeah,
yeah,
that
like shepherd's
hearty.
pie,
Yep.
and it's so cold outside, and that meal just warms you up, right, when you come in from whatever you're doing outside. So,
Right.
and then going along with comfort foods is probably is one of the best times a year just to get next to family and hang out with family, especially after the last 2-3 years, where for 2 years we didn't get the chance to do that. And so
Right.
comfort food brings family together. Family, depending on if you like your family or not,
Yeah. Family
it could
time.
it could be great. It could be forced
Yeah,
family
like
fun.
bringing more people together because we're kind of more inside.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
So, but if you guys, I know me and Mel went on a bunch about what we like, what we dislike, and stuff like that. Let us know when you're rewatching this what you like, what you maybe dislike in the comment section, because we come back on here and interact with you guys. So, but
Mhm.
and look at that, right on cue, Mel's drinking a warm coffee.
It's kinda cold now, but,
Oh, okay,
I
but
actually I had it in my Yeti, and then I put it in here because I thought it was cooler. Like, it's cool to feel, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm got my coffee in my to-go cup,"
yeah, yeah.
but then it
So,
got cold.
but at the end of the show, for those that are first time watchers, first time listeners, if you're first time listeners, you just come over and just watch us live because you actually get to see what's coming up next.
Yes.
But we're talking all things millennial, so why don't we pop up the millennial meme?
Millennial meme. I actually had 2. I just thought they were really funny and that you get a kick out of them. So this one is first for Billy. I got this one for him. And it says, "Your expression when someone says they hate pumpkin spice lattes," and it's a pumpkin head,
Yeah, that's
which is
good.
basically like their face is just a pumpkin.
I
Um,
love it. I
and
love it.
then this one, which is even better, it's a it says them, not a good idea. It's a picture of Charmin pumpkin spice toilet paper, and it
Oh
says
my
me, but it's
god.
pumpkin. So it's a spoof that everything pumpkin is not always okay, right?
Yeah, I would. I don't know what I would do if I saw that. I would probably just walk out of the store. I'll guarantee you this: if that ends up being a real product, it'll be one place. It'll be sold at one place, and that's Aldi.
I shop at Aldi.
It would be in the Aldi aisle,
I will check.
100%.
I will check, but pumpkin spice toilet paper is like, the
Yeah.
ultimate here.
So
That's funny.
yeah. So again, guys, if this is the first time you're watching, first time listening, we also have another segment of the show where we're just gonna pop it up. It's Mel's moment. Um,
Mel's moment.
there you go. There's the jingle. We need to record that, and so we could just play it. But it's a point of the show where Mel leaves us with a little, like last week. If you watched, right, or listened, Mel led us into the week, and now Mel's taking us out of the week
Into
into
the
the
weekend.
weekend with a great piece of advice, something to do, something to think about as you're enjoying your pumpkin spice lattes this weekend, and getting all your pumpkin stuff up and watching some football. She's going to leave us with a piece of
Goodness.
advice. So, Mel, take it away.
Well, I would say even though it's the weekend, it's just the beginning. And
Oh,
now that it's the fall and things are changing, I think there could be new opportunities that we reevaluate some of those goals, like we said, into the rest of the year. We have a lot of time. It seems like it's not, but every day and every week, we have some really good things that Billy and I are working on behind the scenes for the podcast, that I think are going to open up some of the audience to older generation, and really get our name out there and get this growing like we've talked about. So we're going to meet next week, and I feel like there's some really great things happening and collaborations, and I think that's where we should try to reset on some goals and tackle as much as we can by the end of the year.
love it. I love it. It is. It's that, October's coming up, right? It's tomorrow. That basically what leaves us the last quarter of the year. to go at. I mean, even though if you're not close to hitting your goals, you can still make a run. And yeah, you might
Mhm.
not hit that goal, but you're going to be running into next year, and that's what you want. And I love that sentiment.
Yeah, and I wanna give a
So
shout out. My, little brother's 21st birthday is tomorrow. So speaking of a October 1st, new start to
yeah,
life,
wow,
legal.
legal,
Well,
love
drinking,
it.
drinking.
Yes, yes, plenty of pumpkin spice beer for him.
I know he doesn't really even he doesn't drink it. I wanna throw him a huge party, and he doesn't no, he doesn't really want one, so
Oh, you can make
happy
some
birthday, Bill.
what are they can make some mocktails, right?
Yes,
There you go. You that's I'm sure, I've been to a couple of Mel's parties. There was a couple mocktails there before,
I'm
so
sure.
so but anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today. If you did, let us know in the comment section. We are live every Friday, 2 o'clock. So make sure you come and hang out with us. Like Mel said, we are about to like change the game when it comes to the Millennial podcast. We're going to be doing some really cool things here that are going to really take this thing to the next level. So make sure you join in, come along for the ride. It's going to be fun. And like I said, maybe one day, you might be a special guest. Who knows? But anyways, guys, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.